Indian American Texas have asked me in the past, Ramana, what's the difference of working with you versus getting a will or a trust done on LegalZoom, or working with a lawyer whose focus is not exclusively estate planning? What's the difference? I mean, I get a will with you, I get a will with them, I get a trust with you, I get a trust with them. You give me documents, they give me documents, right? So what's really the difference? Like it's a commodity, right? Doesn't matter from who I buy it from. This is a question that that I've gotten in the past. So if you think about the levels of planning, right, the lowest one is do it yourself, right? I wouldn't recommend it. You should not try to cut your hair, you should not try to do knee surgery on yourself, because you have no idea if you're doing it or right, or if you're screwing it up. You can go online, you can try these templates, but not advisable, right? So that's the lowest level of estate planning if you think about it. One step above that is you work with a lawyer, who's offering you a very cheap estate plan service, or you have these legal insurance plans, and lawyers are kind of part of that network. Uh, again, at least in my experience, those tend to be more volume-based practices. So you come in, you leave. There's not that much of advice that is actually given out, right? There's a form, they fill up the form, they make sure that it is executed form properly, that all the formalities are properly done. But that's about it. You're not going to get that much advice, especially if you're Indian American with your cross-border status and all that. Like, you're just not going to get that. A step above that, right, are people who do exclusively estate planning, right? And I'm part of that group. So what do you get with somebody who does exclusively estate planning? And it's a huge range from zero to maybe $10,000. Zero being do it yourself to $10,000 going to the top law firm. So if you talk about people, say, in the top, say, 50-60%, right? People who focus exclusively on estate planning, what you actually get with them is that you get advice, right? Because a document is a document, but what the stuff that goes into the document, it is shaped by the advice that you get from the attorney. It is shaped by the amount of time that you get with the attorney. It's shaped by your inputs, right? So just to give a few examples, if you think about the reason why a lot of trusts fail, a lot of people have this false sense of security that I have a revocable living trust, I'm sorted. But a lot of these trusts fail because the trusts are not properly funded, or that's one of the biggest reasons why they fail. Also because with these cheap plans, the lawyers just don't have the time to sit down and explain to you things that you don't know even to ask about, right? I mean, if you know the answer to something, you can ask a question. But if you don't know the answer to it, or if you don't even know what questions to ask, there's no way that you'll ever get answers. So I think that's majorly the difference between working with a lawyer who does 10 other practice areas and does wills on the side, versus somebody whose exclusive focus is estate planning. So whoever you work with, make sure that their exclusive focus is estate planning, because I think that's how you will get the best advice for your situation.